check my sound now. And that way right after
Good afternoon, sports fans, and welcome to Griffith Field, live from Bakersfield High. It's the Kern High Network as the Drillers host the Frontier Titans. I am Kenny Calvin. I'm joined by my director, Kevin Willie, and my coach, Rick Van Horn. It's going to be an amazing contest. Interesting weeks last week for both teams. You have Frontier face the Stars team and spank them 35-13. We'll get into some of the individual stats and how they developed that huge lead and win as they had that battle. Drillers, on the other hand, traveled north to Buchanan and had a historic defeat. And you wonder, how could that happen? They were missing some pivotal pieces. So, Coach Van Horn, excited to see you this year. It's our first opportunity in the booth. Just so happens to be the field that you turned me into a monster on.
That's right, Griffith Field. Right here. And you talk about that game last week for the Drillers against Buchanan. And I hate to tell you, Driller fans out there, but that was the worst defeat in Bakersfield High history since 1899. And I said 1899, not 1999.
Wow.
53 points. The worst defeat was a 90-point loss to Tulare High in 1899. Can you believe it?
Wow. And that's the last we're going to talk about that. But, ultimately, we have to be honest about the situation. One of our best players in Rogers didn't play last week. Not sure exactly what the issue was, but nonetheless, when you're missing one of the state's top running backs and your game plan for the year is to be successful using him in multiple spots, it's just going to affect the offense. But the Drillers did have some bright spots. Coach, talk about some of those.
Well, yeah, and they've got Ty Montero coming back, second-year returning quarterback, and he's one of the better quarterbacks, if not the best quarterback in town. Experienced, tough kid. Tough, great wrestler for the Driller wrestling program. Can run. He rushed for 140 yards last week, was their leading rusher. Can throw the ball. Can basically do it all.
All right, so the captains are out. We'll see how it turned out. It looks like Frontier won the toss, and they'll elect to receive. So the Drillers will be on defense, and I like that, being a former Driller defensive back. But ultimately, I told Mr. Willie we're going to be non-biased tonight because my godson also plays for Frontier, and we got a lot of love over there. You got a son over there on the staff as well, former Driller. So it's going to be exciting, Coach.
Got a son and a nephew on the other side of the field. And text my son earlier today. He said, "We're calling your game today." He says, "Okay, that's great. But I'm going to be on the away side tonight."
And here come the Drillers out of that famous tunnel. Goosebumps for everybody who's done it before, as the Drillers looking to come back after that landslide loss Kenny Calvin and Rick Van Horn with Kevin Willie. We want to thank all of our staff down at Kern High Network and the Kern High School District Superintendency, as well as our sponsors at Valley Strong Credit Union. It's going to be an amazing night for football. 10 seconds to kick off. Frontier getting the ball first, heading south.
Kenny Calvin, you recognize that flag that just ran out?
Man, Coach.
That's the same flag that ran out when you were playing.
Coach, I remember the first day you guys told me that I was going to be a starter and having the opportunity to get ready, and my life changed ever since. So, it's definitely a overwhelming feeling being up here sometimes, no matter how many times you get to do it, and it's an honor to be part of the process.
I was going to make a Betsy Ross joke, but he's not old enough to even make that joke.
I wasn't talking about the American flag. I was talking about that VHS flag there. Kenny, we didn't talk too much about Frontier. Frontier finally got a more diversified offense than you've seen ever out of Chris Bandy team, whether he was here at Ridgeview. I kind of say they brought their offense this year into the 21st century.
Right.
Okay? A lot of RPOs. With this quarterback, Malachi Statler. He's a kid much like Ty Montero. Kid can run, can pass, a lot of RPOs. He's expected to make a lot of reads on the run. Did a great job last week. He was 13 for 22 for about 270 yards.
Wow.
4 touchdowns.
296, Coach.
296.
Yeah, he went crazy. And that's the thing about this Frontier team. I had the honor of covering them over the last few years and watching them get better, watching a lot of these young underclassmen perform at a high level. So I'm not surprised to see them playing well, but a lot of other people may be. And the kick is up, and that's going to be taken. And we got live action and a great block on the outside. Nice block. One man to beat in Frontier across the 30 to the 10. Touchdown, Titans. Wow.
101 yards. He was a yard deep in the end zone.
Well, it was an amazing block right at the 10-yard line by the wedge guy that kicked out. And once he hit that hole, it was just a track meet because there was only one man to beat. After that, and Frontier coming out like they mean business right away.
Well, they're looking for a fast start tonight because they didn't come out last week against North High. Kind of sputtered a little bit that first quarter, didn't score any points, but then let it out that second, third, and fourth quarter. So they wanted a fast start tonight. I don't know if they were expecting that kind of fast start.
Wow. So Coach Bandy, we talked about his preparation and how he always get guys ready to go. They got off the bus ready. 6-0 Frontier right away, and this Driller home crowd is shocked. Snap. Kick is up.
No good.
Kick is no good. So that first touchdown is huge, but when you miss an extra point, you always got to wonder if that's going to come back to haunt you.
Yep, and two good teams like that, it always does. You don't want to be chasing points early.
Coach, did we get a number on who scored the touchdown? I couldn't see it from this angle. We'll try to work on that for you guys, ladies and gentlemen, but that was an amazing return by the Frontier Titans.
I thought it was 12 or 22. I couldn't tell. But I'm not for sure.
Frontier striking right away, and people underestimate the importance of special teams. And that was a shocking 101-yard return out of the gates. So let's see if the Drillers can answer back. Frontier's kicker did a lot of squib kicks earlier.
That's what we were watching. He didn't put any in the air. Of course, there's a reason why. Number 22 is back there. Tybo Rogers, the best player in town, hands down. Committed to University of Washington already after several big-time colleges were after him. Decided to join another Driller DB up there, Cameron Williams. So I'm sure Cam had a lot to do with him enticing Tybo to go to Washington.
Absolutely. Great decision, but ultimately he got business to take care of tonight, and I know he's itching to get out there. And that squib kick is taken at the 30, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Drillers. We'll see what this offense has to present for themselves, Coach. And one of the interesting things I saw this week was Coach Sheehy with his helmet on running quarterback.
Quarterback, huh? Tailback maybe, quarterback, huh?
Right.
The thing we're going to look for is where does Tybo start the game at? Running back, receiver, who knows?
All right, so Frontier coming out in what looks like a 30 even front, 3-4 defense. Quarters coverage in the secondary as the Drillers look like they're going to come out in a twin set pistol formation for Ty Montero.
Montero takes the snap, hands off to Rogers.
Rogers is tackled right away. Great pursuit by the Titans.
Tybo is joined by number 8, Drahir Mackey in the backfield, a junior. Had a very good sophomore year. We saw some potential out of him last year, and I think he's going to be the guy next year to take over when Tybo leaves.
Absolutely, one of the toughest kids in town. Drillers. Montero looking to throw, and there's a flag in the backfield. Frontier, and that's going to be a fumble, and that may be recovered. Recovered by the Titans, but we'll see what that penalty is. If that's on the Drillers, that's going to be a devastating turnover, and more than likely it is. And so that's going to be a holding call against the Drillers. And Frontier has a turnover after a fumble by Ty Montero, and talk about a horrible way to start a football game. Giving up a kickoff return, and then on the second play from snap, turning it over on a play that you should have just took a knee and killed it.
Well, I told you, this kid, Ty Montero, is a tough kid. He's not going to go down no matter what. So he's just got that mentality that you're going to have to tackle me and bring me down and bring a couple buddies because it's going to be a while.
Absolutely. He is one of the toughest kids we've seen over the last few years. Definitely an unfortunate turn of events for the Drillers, but nonetheless, 1st and 10, Frontier Titans heading south.
Look for a big play out of Frontier right here after a turnover. 5 wide. And there they go.
Pass thrown, trying to attack, and just like Coach said, usually after a turnover, we have what's called sudden change, and you want to take a shot. And that's one of the things Coach Van Horn taught me. Always be prepared coming in after a turnover for sudden change, because offensive coordinators love to catch DBs sleeping, but great job by that corner over there.
That looks like number 12 out there for the Drillers. Harvey Rogers.
Harvey had a fantastic game on both sides of the football last week. Harvey Rogers III. Trips bunt set for Frontier, and they go to power right. That's going to be a nice tackle after a 1-yard gain, and this is a huge opportunity for the Driller defense to try to keep them from getting anywhere near field goal range, Coach.
That's right. You know, and you can't overlook Frontier. I saw him scrimmage Highland a couple weeks ago, and Highland's a good Division III football team that has won a lot of games the last couple of years, and Frontier manhandled them, kind of did what they want, moved the ball at will.
Yeah, Coach Bandy has a confident group of guys, and now you got some pressure from the Drillers, and we'll see if we can get to them. But they got a man, and that's going to be complete, and that's going to be for first down yardage. Huge pass by Statler, and you see some of that accuracy.
Yeah, when we talk about the Frontier offense moving into the 21st century, Tyler Ferguson is now the play caller for Frontier, former Driller, Ridgeview player. I'll let this play go here. 5 wide.
Statler back.
Oh, Statler trying to thread the needle, attacking the mid section of that defense. Just overthrown, but great coverage underneath by that Driller secondary.
Yeah, somebody might have been off of Frontier there. They had 2 guys running slants, almost running into each other, so I'll have to talk about that. But Tyler Ferguson is now the play caller for the Titans, and he comes with a lot of experience, COS, Penn State, let me think, Louisville, Western Kentucky,
Well-traveled.
and little Tennessee Titans. So he comes in with a pro-style offense.
Yeah, now they go bunch trips. Pressure off the edge, but great protection.
Oh,
nice
great
call.
catch.
Great catch. Nice job by
Yeah.
Statler staying calm and continuing to keep his eyes downfield.
Key for the Drillers, they got to get pressure on him because you're going to see, much like you see on Sundays, you're going to see a lot of crossing routes, shorter crossing routes. You're going to see some what we call stick routes, 5-yard, 6-yard outs.
Now they go I formation for the first time under center inside the 5-yard line. Drillers trying to do a good job of.
Oh, he
and
fumbled.
he fumbled. Did he get back on it? And if he fumbled, they're going to have to mark him short where the ball was fumbled. So
It looked like he recovered in the end zone, but they're giving him a first down on about the half-yard line.
wow. So first and goal for Frontier. Drillers backs against the wall already with 9:03 to play in the first quarter early. I want to thank our sponsors at Valley Strong Credit Union. We got a long night of football ahead of us. Now they go ace formation. Drillers probably expecting sneak here, but they go power, and that's going to be a touchdown. Frontier. Titans up early, 12-0 with 8:34 to go in the first quarter, and this crowd is shocked.
8:34 still in the first quarter. Looks like they're going to kick the PAT. They're not going to chase the points yet. They don't need to.
Yeah, you know, when you got a situation where you're up early on a team where probably a lot of people thought had your number tonight, you just want to continue to play consistent, and they're doing that on both sides of the football through 2 drives.
Snap is good. The hold is good.
Kick is up. Kick is good, and it's 13-0 for the Titans. We'll take our first quick break and be right back with more Kern High Network football right after this. All right, we're back live from Griffith Field. Kenny Calvin and Rick Van Horn with producer-director Kevin Willie. And the Driller home crowd is shocked a few minutes into the contest. And I'm saying shocked over and over again because I'm shocked. Definitely was shocked by that kickoff return, but then we get the turnover. And just an excellent job by Frontier capitalizing on some great field position. And so now, as the Drillers, you got to try to see what you can do. He's still on his feet. Across the 45, and he's going to be down, or at the 37-yard line, I should say. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Drillers. And Coach Sheehy, he's also a pro pedigree guy with some offensive experience. You got to give yourselves an opportunity, though, early in the football game by not making mistakes. So let's see what the offense has to present.
Well, you don't want to start pressing yet if you're the Drillers. Couple mistakes, you can overcome that. But if you start pressing and trying to get those points back early, you could dig a deeper hole.
Absolutely, one first down at a time. So now they go RPO, and Montero keeps it. And they go ahead and get that first down on the RPO quarterback keep.
And that's what we're talking about. Montero gained 140 yards last week against Buchanan. And Buchanan's not even the number 1 ranked team in the Valley.
Yeah, and you know Ty's itching to make up for that mistake as well. So we'll see what he has to present as they operate from the 50. Pistol spread formation for the Drillers, quarters coverage for the Titans. Huge penetration by that defensive line. That looked like big number 69 for the Titans. And a host of other guys. Might have been 59, Brandon Harris.
Brandon Harris.
Great penetration. And with a 3-man front, you usually don't expect that kind of penetration as we get a quick timeout from the officials. But that gives us the time to kind of highlight that staff over there with Chris Bandy. So you got Coach Chris Bandy. You have Brent Durkin. You have your son, Richard Van Horn, and Tyler Ferguson. A lot of experience from a player's perspective and coach's perspective on that sideline.
And don't forget Kenny Haslip over there.
Oh, you can't forget Kenny Hass.
Former USC Trojan.
DB game. Pistol spread formation for the Drillers. Now the Titans in a 40 even front. And that's going to be a false start against the Drillers. Another early penalty.
Illegal procedure, Drillers.
Illegal procedure for the Drillers, and that's going to back them up even further, making it about 2nd and 20, and this is what you can't do.
No, you can't chase the chains, especially when you're down 13-0.
2nd and 18.
So, Coach, in these situations, 2nd and 18, what's some of the things that you expect to see?
Well, you might see a screen draw in there. You might see Tybo. Doesn't take Tybo much. Give him a little opening, and he can break anything.
Back to pass.
Nice catch and throw.
Nice little out there. Nice.
Warner on the reception.
Going to bring up about short of about 2 yards.
Nice catch.
7 minutes left in this first quarter.
3rd down and about 2.
And that was our first time being able to really see Ty Montero's arm, because that was a nice pass on that out route over the underneath dropping outside linebacker. 1st and 10 Drillers. Give inside to Rogers on the zone. He picks up that half yard. And that's going to be 1st down Drillers.
That was a 2-down zone either way for the Drillers. Whether they made it on the 3rd down, they were going to go for it on the 4th down. So,
yeah, and like we said, Coach, even though you're getting off to a slow start, it's still early. All you got to do is continue to work the program and move the chains until you get in scoring range. Rogers takes the power. Amazing job sticking his foot in the ground and getting upfield for the 1st down carry. So in that RPO zone power, you're usually going to see that guard smashing down on that 3 technique defensive tackle as he hits that hole. And now you got Frontier calling a timeout as the Drillers get their rhythm. So, you see some of the things that we talk about, methodically just doing what you need to do and not overthinking things, Coach.
That's right. There's plenty of time. 6:05 left in the first quarter. If you can get it down to a 1-score game, you're in the ball game.
Absolutely. I mean, because ultimately, from a coach's perspective, when you do give up a kickoff return and a fumble, you kind of still have faith in your game plan because you haven't really got to operate it yet.
That's true. And both of these teams are fairly young. You look at a Frontier High. Frontier's got 2 freshmen playing varsity, 4 sophomores and 21 juniors.
Wow.
The Drillers have 1 freshman, the kicker Dallas, 12 sophomores. Very unusual. Coach Sheehy must have a plan. Going to give these 12 sophomores, get them ready for a couple years from now, and they got 21 juniors. So both teams are going to be pretty good next year, too.
Pistol formation for the Drillers. Frontier bringing some pressure. Montero with the stiff arm. Great tackle on the play by number 31 of Frontier, because Montero was trying to give him that stiff arm, and he held on for dear life.
No gain.
And it's taking us some time to get you these numbers, ladies and gentlemen, because we don't have any light up here in this beautiful Griffith Field. But nonetheless, number 31, Bryson Tablet on the tackle. Montero,
Back to pass.
throwback screen, and that's looking promising. Oh, but nice job
Completed to
by
Wow.
the defensive back.
Almost looked like a face mask there. Couldn't tell, but he had either the shoulder pads or the face mask.
the stop for the Titans.
Amazing tackle.
Was that Anthony McKinney? Number 17 for the Drillers. As you see, they took Tybo and they swung him right. Took about 2 defenders from Frontier with him. Came back with a short, little quick screen.
Yeah, E.J. Flores on the tackle there. And now you got
Probably a 2 downs.
Montero back to pass.
Going to be short.
Is caught by Rogers.
yes,
Maybe
sprint right and roll out. And like you said, Coach, two down territory.
2 downs territory. You're going to be short about a yard here.
The stops, 4th down and 1.
And now it looks like we see our first
4-yard reception.
Mackey, the fullback slash H-back slash backup tailback, is into the game.
Mackey's a load as well. So if you're the Frontier Titans coaching staff, you're definitely telling your players to key him. Nonetheless, 4th and 1 for a huge conversion opportunity for the Drillers, and Montero's going to keep it, and he's going to have enough for the first down.
The plane picks up a Driller. 1st down.
The old Iron Horse,
Heredia makes a stop for the Titans.
back in 1899, that probably was the most popular play.
That's right.
Nonetheless, 1st and 10 for the Drillers.
About the 12-yard line.
And you got to start feeling some of that confidence if you're the Drillers, getting some of those chains to move. And now we got movement again.
That's what you don't need when you get down here in the red zone. Oh, it's
and
against Frontier.
Encroachment, so huge defensive penalty. And that may be a little bit of that momentum shifting based on the consistency of the drive from the Drillers.
I didn't see anybody jump, so he must have lined up offsides from the get-go.
Nonetheless, 1st and 10 Drillers. Huge opportunity to make up for some lost time in this first quarter. And we got Montero under center for the first time. And that's going to be handed off to Rogers in great pursuit and penetration again for the Titans. Wow. Huge play in the backfield by Tablet, and Tablet is making a name for himself in the first quarter, Coach.
Yeah, he is. You know, Frontier might have took, and Coach Bandy might have took the Bill Belichick philosophy. Belichick's philosophy is he's always going to stop the best player.
Right.
So Tybo Rogers is not going to beat them tonight. Somebody else might. Well, we're not going to let Tybo, because we already know if we do, he can beat us by himself.
Absolutely. So Montero, pistol formation, spread set. And they go RPO again, right back to Rogers. And like you said, Coach, 11 eyes are on Rogers. It's going to be hard to just turn around and hand him the football and expect him to beat 9 guys.
Yeah. And you saw it earlier where they swung him right, threw back left.
You know, in most fans, you see those situations where a team's running to the short side of the field, and you're like, why are you doing that? It's usually a setup play for your next opportunity.
Yeah, it is. You know, and this may be something that he's going to have to do the rest of the year because he's so key, he's so good. Be a decoy much of the time.
Montero passes it out to Brown.
Caught out in the flat, still on his feet, and that's going to be touchdown. Drillers, and there's a flag at the end, but nonetheless, great individual effort on the sprint right.
There's a flag on the play.
Flood pattern. Nice pass by Montero, Coach. Montero.
Yeah, just a little sprint pass there. Jerry Rice made that famous. Montana and Rice.
A whole lot of verbiage going on for a penalty that happened at the half-yard line. You would think that that would be figured out a lot faster than that. Usually, if you're an offense that just scored, you're not liking this much conversation going on because it should be a whole lot simpler process. But what we may have, hopefully not for the Drillers, is if there was an offensive penalty, maybe a face mask of some sort. And it looks like they're coming back to the line of scrimmage. Oh, so we did have something. I couldn't see the signal as he was surrounded by the team, but nonetheless, that's going to be an offensive penalty, and that wipes away a touchdown. And I'm wondering, what could it have been? So was it a face mask?
Well, there was only one Frontier defender out there, and there was about 3 Drillers out there.
Oh, so it was a sideline. Well, I'm very confused right now because it looks like.
Third down, 5.
Yeah,
I'd love an explanation right there because.
I don't understand there because
Nonetheless, pistol
they
spread
moved it back
formation.
5.
Oh, and you got the post corner, and that's going to be incomplete. They tried to go for the post corner route, faked the slant, and went back outside. And now you got the Drillers sending their special teams unit out, and a young Mr. Dallas, freshman kicker, will have an opportunity to kick for these Drillers. Because you can't squander away the points, and huge penalty, and we still confused as to what exactly happened.
25-yard field goal attempt.
So we'll have the 25-yard field goal attempt by young Dallas. Mekhi Dallas. Snap is up, kick is up, and the kick is good, so the Drillers are on the board with 3 with 1:36 to play.
Nice little leg by the freshman there.
Amazing leg by the freshman. And I know his grandpa, former Driller and professional boxer, Michael Dallas, is smiling from heaven.
You may have to ask Coach Chris Figueroa right down in front of you about what happened on that goal line called back touchdown for the Drillers.
Yeah, we definitely need to figure out what happened there because we didn't really get an explanation. It looked like the ball went into the end zone for a touchdown. Nonetheless, the flag was thrown, and they backed the ball up from the end zone 5 yards.
Yeah, they didn't even bring it back and mark it from the original line of scrimmage.
The signal looked like
just like a push.
sideline.
Yeah, like a sideline warning.
warning, but it wasn't a warning.
But that would come off. That would be a warning.
Yes,
And
sir.
I don't know what kind of sideline, because they were on the far sideline, the Frontier sideline, so where are they getting?
The only logic that makes sense is if there was a block in the back and they marched it back from the spot of the foul.
But that would be a 15-yarder, I would think. Not a 5-yarder down the field.
Yeah, very confusing, ladies and gentlemen. We'll try to figure that out. But nonetheless, the Drillers get 3, and they're trying to get their first touchdown of the season. It hasn't came yet. And that flag was very late. But there was a hold on the inside, and if you're the Drillers, you're wanting that to come out a little bit faster because he almost broke that tackle and went for another 100-yarder. Nonetheless, it's going to be 1st and 10 for Frontier with a 10-point lead with 1:30 to play in this first quarter. So, Coach, we had the confusion of that opportunity, but still, as the Drillers, you have to like getting something on the board, right?
You got something on the board out of that. Still a 2-score game. I would have thought that was a 2-down zone down there, you know, even on 4th down going for it. But once they got backed up, so basically that was a 4th and goal. So they would have had to score.
Right. So Frontier's coming back out in that shotgun trips set. They've kept things in the air pretty much through the duration of the first quarter. Drillers in quarters coverage with a 40-even front.
Statler, quick pass.
And Statler right away with that spread offense just picking his poison.
And that's an automatic. That was just a poor alignment by the Drillers right there. They had nobody inside at number 3 receiver. You had the inside backer, you had the strong safety on the outside. You're just giving it to them.
Absolutely. That's a quick hot read.
And that's just what you said, a hot read right there.
Playing the hammer.
A gain of 3, 2nd and 7.
40 seconds remaining to play in this first quarter. We'll have one more play.
Yeah, Statler doing a good job getting it out to his playmakers.
Abbott makes the stop for the Drillers.
I think he's only missed one pass, and that was on the long one there.
Absolutely.
Right after the turnover. They're going to let this clock run out.
Yeah, so, Coach, like you said, as a junior, for a kid we haven't seen a lot of, he's looking very impressive against a good Driller defense.
Well, you know, he's showing a lot of poise. Getting the ball around, that hot read right there. Junior, probably in the second start. I don't think he started any games last year.
Score, Titans 13, Drillers.
So that is the end of the first quarter. The Drillers trailing 13-3. We will take a break.
We all come from different backgrounds and practice different traditions, but we belong to one humanity. At Valley Strong Credit Union, we care deeply about the communities where we live and serve. That's why over the past 80 years, we've donated and invested millions of dollars into various partnerships, nonprofits, and businesses in Kern County. And as we continue to grow, we remain rooted here in our community. Valley Strong. Grow your possibilities.
Wow.
Ready?
All right, so we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Frontier ball, 2nd and 7 as we start the second quarter, and we have an update on that Driller touchdown that was called back. But right now, great tackle. Bryson Carson on the tackle. So we got an explanation from Coach Figueroa, a former Valley champion Driller. He stated that the penalty called against the Drillers that took away the touchdown was aiding the runner. How many times have you heard that called in the football game? Aiding the runner. Nonetheless, it's illegal, and they caught it. But on the goal line?
Yeah.
Wow.
That last play for Frontier was Watson, number 11, the freshman.
So Statler letting it go, and that's going to be incomplete. And that's going to bring up a 4th and 7, and the Drillers do a great job of making their way off the field. You know, and one of the things I like most about doing our games at our own home field, Coach, is seeing some of our former teammates, some of the legends from the past, We just saw the Qualls brothers come up. You had your old running back, Alex Qualls, and the little bro, Ken Qualls. So shout out to the Qualls brothers. They just graduated Chris Qualls last year.
That's right. That's right.
Rich driller tradition. Got rich frontier tradition on the other side. And that punt is going to go out of bounds.
So the drillers will take over. I'll take one of those.
Gotcha. So the drillers will have it 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line. After that punt goes out of bounds.
Well, little birdie told me that there's a kid named Steve Wofford coaching on the driller sideline.
You got the legendary number 3. I think he's right in front of me on the 47-yard line, pacing back and forth. Had a chance to speak to him during pregame. Oh, and now we got a snap. Montero missed the snap. And now you got Rogers retreating back 20 yards, still on his feet. And Montero just blanked out, not paying attention. And horrible way to start your first down after you get the ball with some amazing field position. So another horrible mistake by the drillers. In coach's terms, we call that shooting yourself in the foot.
That's right. God, drillers chasing those chains early in this game. 2nd and 25 now.
Yeah, tough mistake. You know, we say chasing the chains because you're losing the first down. Now they go back inside to Rogers, just trying to get something back. Nonetheless, he gets about 4, and that's still going to be 2nd and long. And right here, like you heard Coach reiterate to earlier, drawing screen territory.
Yeah, you're going to have to, and I'm sure Coach Sheehy's got ways to get Rogers the ball other than lining him up at tailback and just handing it to him where you've got 11 eyes, like you said earlier, 22 eyes on him exactly.
They go back to the ground, and Tybo gets outside. But we got another flag, and that's going to be brought back for another hold as you see the laundry on the 34-yard line. And if you're Frontier, you may want to decline this and make the drillers kick anyway as it's 4th and 10.
That's right. That's the 3rd penalty in a row the White Hat has thrown. I don't know who the White Hat is, but he might be. They might only have brought one set of flags, and he's got them in his pocket. That's all. He's the only one throwing flags.
Well, Coach, I'm usually the one on the officials, but I'll let you have it tonight. But you're right. He has been very busy, but you know, ultimately it's been some opportunities for the drillers to do some special things, and they're just not capitalizing. You get the punt after having them pinned. You start on the 40-yard line, and then the first snap, you blow it and lose 15 yards.
Well, you've got the opening kickoff ran back by Frontier. You've got the fumble by the drillers on the 30, and then you've got the bad snap where they lost 15 yards there. So they're not helping themselves at all.
Right. Go ahead, Coach.
Frontier's going to get some good field position right here.
Oh, and it takes a Frontier bounce. And another thing I was going to say, Coach, you know, if you're across town and you hear the score come through, you're probably saying, oh, what's going on with the coaches? These are player mistakes that we're seeing early. It has nothing to do with X's and O's. It's just about making good decisions to be aware of what you need to do from an individual perspective.
That's right, and this is a big game. 2 big programs here in town. You know, probably you got Liberty number 1. Bakersfield might be a 2 or 3, depending on who you talk to. Frontier's probably a 3-4 if you talk to people. Maybe you might slip a Garces in there in that top 4. Range them any way you want, but those are the top 4 teams. Having a big inner-city rivalry, second game of the year is tough. It comes down to who makes the least amount of mistakes.
Right, and so it looks like Frontier is going to take the yardage on the other side and have the Drillers re-kick, hoping for a good return or a block, because they did have a lot of penetration on that previous punt, Coach. So the Driller punt team will come back out.
Well, your pet peeve is my pet peeve on that last play. What was it?
Not catching the punt.
That's right. Not catching the punt. You're back there for a reason. Catch the ball.
Absolutely, and that's right at the spot where you taught us, if we don't catch this ball, you got to give me 20 push-ups before your next rep. So nonetheless, that'll be a quick timeout. We'll take a quick break as well and come back with more Kern High Network football right after this. Welcome back to Bakersfield High School, live from Griffith Stadium. It's Kenny Calvin, Kevin Willie, and Coach Rick Van Horn for the Kern High Network. I want to thank everybody at the Kern High School District Superintendency, our boss, the Hall of Famer, Stan the Man Green, and the rest of the staff.
I'd move up just a bit if I was this punt returner for Frontier.
Oh. And it takes the Driller bounce, but it hits the player, and that's going to earn them maybe about 7 to 8 yards on the re-kick, and that's going to be first down Titans. And if you're the Drillers, one thing that we used to do as a defense back in my playing days, if your offense is sputtering, you have to make the play on defense to inspire your offense. We took pride in that. So as a young defense, you want to see that happen if you're a Driller on the opposite side of the field. Who's going to make a play to put yourselves in a position to get back into a football game?
That's right. Frontier comes out in a tight bunch here.
Rare under center opportunity, and they go right with the quick lead play. 3-yard gain. That's going to bring up 2nd and 7. And you got to wonder, Coach, that's the first time we've seen them under center in the midfield area, if they're going to try to have more balance instead of throwing the football all over the place with this lead that they have.
Again, with a tight bunch. Run the outside zone.
Nice job breaking the tackle. Makes one miss and gets another couple. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 3.
You have seen the last 2 plays. That was John Appleton for Frontier.
Frontier.
They went with no huddle the last play. Looks like they're going to huddle up. It's going to be 3rd and about 4.
You have to be a mature team to run that no huddle how they're running it as well. They're doing a great job executing. 3rd and short. Black empty set, and they motion to trips open. Usually this is going to be an RPO zone, but now it looks like he's playing a little check with me, and this might be. Oh, and that's going to be right at the line, but enough for first down yardage for the Titans.
Picks up enough yardage for a first down.
And that's a huge first down.
Yeah, by the skin of his chinny chin there. He got that one.
Yeah, so Frontier kind of looks like they're doing what we thought they were doing when this drive started, trying to milk some of this clock as they see they've given the Drillers some opportunities that the Drillers haven't really capitalized on. So Coach Chris Bandy is probably like, hey, guys, let's try to figure out a way to get out of here without making too many more mistakes. But nonetheless, they're right back in that black empty set.
Yep. And you're seeing
Jet sweep to the left. Looking to make one miss. You got a penalty in the backfield, but he's still on his feet. Nice run, but that's going to be a hold inside, and that's going to come back. And as Coach said, the white hat has been busy.
Despite the nice run by Marquez of Frontier.
Yeah, that was just a great individual effort, too, because they had him bottled up pretty much, and he made two guys miss right at the 47.
Yeah, you know, the Drillers did a good job setting the edge, but it was just one guy. There was no pursuit. And so once he turned up, there was a big lane. Setting the edge only works if you've got pursuit coming.
Absolutely. Another one of our favorite drills we had to do out here on Tuesdays.
Tuesdays.
See how we remember great brains, baby. Tuesdays, pursuit drill.
That's right.
So we got a double tight, and they empty the black. You got to love this offense for Frontier if you're an offensive-minded football guy. Pass outside, and that is caught. Nice catch on the out route.
It sure was.
That was Watkins with the catch. Malcolm Watkins, the 5'10", 163-pound freshman out there with the snag'ems, and it looked like he dragged both toes NFL style. Amazing catch.
Number 11 set to the left here. Kobe Watson's the other freshman, 6'3".
Now we have stoppage in play with 7:41 to play. Drillers trailing as they make some substitutions. And as a defensive player and coach, I'm always looking for who's playing inspired on the defensive side of the football when you're getting kicked in the teeth. Right now, Frontier is pretty much getting what they want offensively. Who's going to have pride on the other side of the football and try to do something to create disturbance?
My finals, and it was a tough ball game, won by the Drillers, 20-14, I believe.
Yeah, so if you're a Frontier team, you definitely came back with a vengeance. As they go shotgun double set against the quarters look for the Drillers. It looks like they're in a man cover.
Third and about 7.
Oh, and they bring pressure on the outside. Oh, and it's caught.
That's Watson, the freshman.
Amazing pass and catch. Statler threw that ball with all kind of pressure in his face. Drillers brought pressure off the edge from both sides. And the worst thing that can happen for a cornerback is for an underthrown fade route because you can't see the ball and he can.
That's right, especially when you got a 6'3" receiver. Kobe Watson.
Amazing catch by Watson.
Little trivia, I coached his dad and Jack Frost.
Nice. And they go right back to that power on the outside, but they set the edge and great tackle. And I think that was Carson with the tackle on the top for the Drillers.
Carson and Campos on the stop.
Carson indeed.
Second and goal.
You know, and this is kind of that we need it now area of the field because 16-3 is much different than 20-3.
Yeah. Frontier scores here. They take control of this game.
Right, and the way they've been able to run the football. Oh. Little confused. Crossing routes, I should say, a little rub route, but great job by the Drillers in the secondary just being prepared.
That ball was thrown out there, almost picked off. Another 2 yards, 2 steps, I should say, and he would have been high-stepping.
Yeah, he'd still be running the Brundage. 5:49 to play. Kenny Calvin and Rick Van Horn, producer-director Kevin Willie for the Kern High Network. We want to thank the Kern High School superintendents, Valley Strong Credit Union. and all of our other teammates on the east side right now at that East and Golden Valley game. Wonder how that's going. Statler scrambling, and he's going to walk into the end zone for a touchdown.
Forgot to put a spy on that quarterback.
He could have moonwalked into the end zone because there was nobody there, and that's just a blown assignment as you're so focused on all of these receivers out there, and that's one of the things we talked about, Coach. You put 4 wide, 5 wide out there. It's so confusing. You're so worried about assignments that you lose a guy.
That's right. You know, we haven't seen Statler use his legs too much, so we didn't really know much about him. We know he can sit in the pocket and throw a little bit, but there he showed he can move a little bit.
Right, he could have rode a wheelchair.
Yeah, kind of a breakdown on that driller 6 up there. They had 5 wide, man coverage. That leaves you with 4 to rush and 1 to spy the quarterback.
So kick is up, kick is good. And that makes it 20-3 as Titans handing it to the Drillers.
Getting a little revenge from that playoff game last year. Coach Chris Big Show Bandy has got his guys going.
Big Show Bandy definitely got them going right there. Just doing a great job with the balance and the play calling. You know, they started the drive on the ground, they ended it in the air or on the ground with the quarterback, but just nice play selection.
Couple big plays, that was about a half second. Could have went the other way. They get the sack. They don't get that ball off. Throws it short. They get the play, get the fumble at the 30, run back on the kickoff.
The aiding the running back. Play that takes the touchdown away.
Yeah.
That changes the game big time as well.
They always say there's 7 plays during a game that determine the outcome of the game, but you really don't know those 7 until the end of the game.
Right. Definitely. So the Titans playing some big-time football. They came across town meaning business. Oh, and now they go with the squib kick, and nobody's paying attention. Drillers barely. Oh, and it's still live, and the Titans catch the Drillers off guard and get the sky kick. 1st and 10, Titans. Silence goes across the Central Valley as the Titans catch the Drillers off guard after the kickoff. They go with the sky kick, and one of the things you have to do, they've been sky kicking it and squibbing it all day, so everybody should be expecting that and prepared.
Well, that's something. When you get a guy like Tybo Rogers back there to receive deep, nobody's going to kick to you, okay? So you got to put all your athletes up front to make plays like that.
1st and 10, Titans, trips open set. Drillers.
Again, are you going to – I don't think they're going to go for it. I think they want to use that clock a little bit.
And they throw a nice screen, and that's an amazing setup, and he better make this tackle, and he does, or else that was going to continue to be a huge game.
Stadler did a great job stepping back. If you notice, he just backpedaled a little bit, knew he had the running back, has a check down.
It goes back to what we talked about play calling and selection. And they get that out to Marquez. Marquez does a great job of getting what he can get.
Well, again, we talked about poise out of Statler, and he's shown quite a bit of poise.
And right now it looks like they're prepared for that blitz as the Drillers continue to bring pressure. But, when you're on the opposite end of a early scoring drought, you got to try some things and you got to gamble.
Yeah, that was about the worst throw he's made during this game.
And you got to wonder, is that pressure starting to finally get to him? Because even on the long fade pass that he threw the last play, he barely got it off, and they're sending that pressure.
Well, Drillers definitely got to dial up some pressure to get on Statler. Tight bunch set. single coverage on the outside.
Nice job inside by Mackey. And as I stated, you got to have one guy on a defense that's going to be hungry and want to continue to play at a high level. If we know anything about this young Driller football team, Drasir Mackey's probably one of the toughest people on that defense. (20-3), 4:19 to play. And Golden Valley is up 13-0 right now. Driller still bringing some pressure. Oh, and almost picked off, and that would have had 7 written all over it. Those are the plays you got to make.
That's right, Detramel Williams.
And that's my little Cuddy that I talked about. I told Coach during the break that I had an opportunity during the summer. We had a family beach trip, and one of the players I was trying to teach the D up and doing one-on-ones with was young Detramel. So I need that pick, Detramel. You got to make that play. And nonetheless, first and 10 Drillers.
That was probably a series Frontier would like to have back when it's all said and done. But on the other hand, the Drillers did dial up some more pressure that series and started getting Stotler on his back foot.
Yeah, the pressure paid dividends. And, you know, when you got guys out there running 4 wide, you have to send some pressure because you can't cover that long.
Hands off to number 2. That's Abbott.
Oh, and Abbott, again, for the Drillers, the one thing that we have been frustrated seeing is going backwards on first down. The last 3 drives have resulted in negative plays on first down, and you're not going to get back into football games if you can't have positive victories on first down.
That's true. And Montero's going to have to take this game into his own hands here, using his legs and his arm.
That safety was about 40 yards deep.
Well, there was a reason there.
Yeah, he saw Tybo lined up outside for the first time. So he went from lined up at the 40 to the other 40. They talk about respect. R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
Well, they say, Tybo, it's not your night tonight. You're not going to beat us.
Right.
Make one of those other guys do it, but you're not.
And if you're Rodgers, you got to find a way when you do get your hands on the football to make something happen.
Now you got double coverage on him on the outside, and there goes Montero.
Trips open, and they go with the keeper. That's going to be a first down. And it's still early in the game, but right now, 2:45 left in the second quarter, first half. You have to get a touchdown here to have an opportunity to get back in the game.
Yeah, you do, and you know, they're using Tybo as a receiver now and drawing double coverage. So now you've got this is a situation where you've got 10 on 9 now.
Oh, batted up and caught again by Montero. Amazing job by that defensive line of Frontier. We haven't talked about them enough. They're doing a fantastic job on the run and the pass.
They have just played solid this whole first half.
Yeah, amazing job by that defensive end, Durkin. You know, he's one of the players that people highlighted. You know, when you talk about who's good and who's to watch on that defensive side of football, and also a coach's kid. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, you're a father of about 3 or 4 guys that played the game. You know, it's in your blood, as we say. Trips open set for the Drillers. 1:41 to play. Montero drops back to pass. He has a man, and that's overthrown. Oh, and now we got a penalty in the first break of the game. Comes for the Drillers, and that makes the point that I haven't highlighted, Coach, is that every now and then you have to take a shot downfield.
Yeah. And these other, other players have to step up.
Absolutely. You know, you have to have a combination of both of those things. Players have to step up. You have to take shots downfield. Put those officials in an awkward situation of whether they got to make the call on these 50-50
I didn't know he had flags, but I guess he does.
That might be the first flag we've seen from a different official. I didn't get the staff's name for tonight. Sarah with the Jets. He gets outside around the corner to the 31-yard line, and now the Drillers may have some options, but it looked like the clock didn't move at all, Coach.
No, it didn't. It was 1:35 when I said that before the play, and I talked about Montero having to make plays with his legs, taking this game onto his shoulders.
A little bit of home cooking. I see you on that one right there.
Take advantage when you do get Tybo in one-on-one situations like you do now, taking advantage of it.
Oh, and now you got Bryce and Abbott. An amazing job inside, still on his feet across the goal line. Touchdown, Drillers, for their first touchdown of the season, Coach.
That's right. Man, that was
Bryson Abbott.
Bryson Abbott, number 2.
So let's talk about how that came, Coach, because you highlighted something a few plays earlier. When you take Tybo and move him out of the backfield, it forces the defense to adjust. They're out there playing him like Randy Moss with a man bump and a safety over the top. That gives opportunity for inside guys because you got that mismatch that you talked about.
Like I said, you're playing 10 on 9 now.
Huge opportunity for the Drillers. Big kick for young Dallas. Oh, and it's blocked.
Nice block by Frontier. Looked like number 2.
Yep, number 2.
Who was
and
that?
That's John Appleton.
He had that long run called back for Frontier earlier. So he's been both sides of the ball. He's contributing.
Right, so now the Drillers trail 11 as that's no good. 20-9 with 1:24 to play. So if you're Frontier, you've done pretty well moving the football. Do you come out and continue to be greedy, Coach, or do you be satisfied with this 11-point lead and try to get out of here? Because it looks like the Drillers are starting to find themselves a little bit.
Yeah, you're going to find out here in the first couple plays what Frontier's mindset is. They're not just going to start bombing away. They may come out with a screen, maybe a draw, see what they can get. If they can get a good first down play, then it will be on.
So we will see 1:24 to play, but the first touchdown of the season for the Drillers has to feel good no matter when it comes. And that was an amazing run.
It was.
But also amazing blocking in the interior by the guard and tackle.
And you know what? He's only a sophomore.
Amazing job. So the Drillers
might be related to Blaine Abbott, the outstanding Driller running back from last year.
Right. So 1:24 to play. Drillers trailing only 11 after all the mistakes that they've had this first half. Yeah. You had the fumble on the second snap. You had the opening touchdown for 101 yards. Then you had
fumble on
position out at the 41.
And guess who it is? Appleton again.
Appleton. Appleton is showing out.
37-yard return.
Yes, so, Coach, they put an extra 3 points on the Driller side, and then they took it back off. They gave him a couple of seconds earlier.
They were trying to fix the clock, and they put the numbers on the score instead of the clock.
So if you're Frontier, you clock watching right now, hoping that everything stays normal.
You're not going to trust these guys over here, I tell you.
Oh, 1st and 10 Frontier. And this is that field position where, Coach, you just might take a nice shot right now.
Well, like I said, you got 1:20 left. You got 0 timeouts, though.
Clock stops for first down.
You're going to have to work the sideline. We'll find out early here.
Now you got stoppage of play from the officials. And like we said, the White Hats been wanting attention all night. And they're going back to the air. Oh, and crossing routes, and that's sniffed out right away by Mackey. Yeah. I believe that was Mackey making the tackle. No, that's going to be Abbott on the tackle.
Yeah, you're going to see something working to the outside. They got to get out of bounds here, so you're going to see something on the outside, a hitch, quick out, something to the outside. There it is. Oh, he didn't get out of bounds. Great job by the Drillers there.
Great job by the Drillers keeping them in bounds. And now, with this third down, if you're aggressive, from Coach Bandy's standpoint, it could work against you. So
yeah, now you just let it go. Now you just run it out. But they're not. They're going to go 5 wide here. You don't want it.
Oh, you got to make the tackle, and they do. And that's going to be first down for the Titans. They're being aggressive. Oh, and it looks like we got a personal foul, and that looks like a Driller may have made a crucial mistake because that's going to be a 15-yard penalty that's going to possibly put Frontier into good field position for a field goal, if that's on Frontier. But it looked like the Driller player was being held back, so maybe he was trying to retaliate for something that we missed. But we'll see what the White Hat has to say. 14 seconds remaining to play in the second quarter. Kenny Calvin and Rick Van Horn with producer-director Kevin Willey. Live from Bakersfield High School.
How strong watching him kick the PATs. I think we're out of his range a little bit here.
I mean, but the way Stratler's been passing the ball, too, this is his range to just
again, they
throw a dart.
Can't give him that deep out and let him get outside here, or get out of bounds, I should say. And they're going to work that comeback to the outside.
That Driller defensive line doing a great job creating pressure in the second quarter. And that's kind of helped them stay in the football game a little bit. 8.4 seconds left to play in the first half. Frontier came out smoking. Drillers methodically trying to stay alive but make All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, with Frontier leading the Drillers 20-9. Interesting end of the second quarter. We left you guys saying that the flag was waved off. However, after another huddle, they allowed Frontier to have one untimed down, even though the clock had ran out and the flag was waved off. Frontier had an opportunity for about a 47-yard kick. The kick was no good, so nothing changed, but you guys missed that play, and now we're back with third quarter action.
They got to see it, but we didn't call it.
Oh, yeah, okay. Because me and Coach were confused up here. I mean, I think we've seen enough snaps to know something was out of the ordinary, but nonetheless, Frontier back.
Oh, we got an offside there.
And that's going out to the 37-yard line. And it'll be 1st and 10 Drillers.
Well, one thing the Drillers, and I didn't bring this up to you earlier, Kenny, they're in pursuit of win number 800 this year. They are on 798 as we speak. 2 more victories will give them 800.
I got 28 of those with you. So the Drillers had what we would call a horrible first half. You give up an opening 101-yard kickoff return. You fumble it on the second snap of the game. You fumble it 3 drives later. Nonetheless, you're only trailing 11 points after even having a touchdown removed. So Montero gets it out to Rogers, Tybo. And now we got a late flag, and that may be a late hit by number 22 on Frontier as he blasted Rogers III in his back. But we'll see, as we've been very confused by some of these calls.
Well, you see, the Drillers, that's what they're going to have to do when they put Rogers on the outside and you get some single coverage out there, just give him the ball. When they double him, that's when you can go the other way.
Right, so we saw the penalties and mistakes early from the Drillers in the first half. It looks like Frontier saying, let's pay them back a little bit because they gave us so much, because that was a bonehead play on the first play of the second half. Nonetheless, 1st and 10 Drillers after the 15-yarder. Shotgun double set against a quarters look for Frontier.
Again, a lot of space between Tybo and the DB. You got to take advantage of that stuff when you get single coverage out there.
And they go Rogers on Rogers. Nice broken tackle by Harvey. And that was a huge tackle at the end of that. Let's get a license plate on that truck.
Well, that was Rogers blocking for Rogers there. Harvey Rogers,
And that's a lethal combination, big bro, little bro up there in that top slot. And now they go inside run. Nice job by Austin. Needs tackle from behind, but you see the tempo for the Drillers picking up, Coach.
Yeah, they're coming out with a purpose here. No huddle.
Frontier looking to bring some pressure. Montero keeps it, gets inside, still on his feet. 7-yard gain.
Wow, he turned nothing into 7 yards there.
One of the toughest kids in the county. Amazing wrestler.
See what happens when you go a quick tempo. You got a guy like Rogers, and you can go a quick tempo. Doesn't give the defense time to find Rogers.
Yes.
And figure out their plan, how they're going to attack Rogers. Double him, man coverage. Again, they're on the double on him. They run the ball.
Yeah, and it goes back to the point that you made earlier, Coach. Once you remove Tybo from the backfield, it forces the defense to think a little bit more because you got to find them on the edge. You have to adjust on the edge. And now you have the mismatches inside, and that's what the Drillers have figured out midway through the second quarter.
Well, yeah, and they have to, when they get single coverage up there on him, they have to get him the ball and let him go to work, like right now.
Trips open set. Montero looking that way. Oh, and that's going to be dropped.
Yeah, you got to catch that ball.
Right, and those one of those situations where you got the quick out. If for Tybo, who missed the game last week, those are the kind of things that happen to you. You lose the rhythm from some of the simple things, some of the small things. And that's an incomplete pass. It's going to be 3rd and 8, but I think this might be 2-down territory like you talked about.
Now they got a true double on Tybo.
Montero, you can't lose yards here. Now you got a flag, and you want to try to get rid of the football. He made a mistake earlier trying to extend the play. Now he's tackled all the way to the track, but that's going to be clean, but we have a penalty on the inside. It's going to be interesting to see if Frontier takes the penalty.
Well, it's going to bring up about a 4th and 8. If they don't, that's one of those situations where the wrestler comes out in Montero where he doesn't want to give that ball up, throw it away, live to play another day.
Right.
He says no.
And that mistake earlier that he had.
Second effort, trying to fight for more yards, and ball pops out.
Yeah, and it was about 5 guys right there with white shirts. And I think that's a good call by Coach Bandy, not giving a driller team that's moving the football another couple of downs to work with.
Yeah, so that was a – Drillers had something going there for a while, and Frontier bowed up and bent a little bit but didn't break.
Tough holding penalty.
That's going to bring up about a 26-yard field goal.
Dallas was booting him from right there, all half, so let's see what he got. Kick is up. Kick is good, and we might have a kicker of the future, ladies and gentlemen, in this freshman in young Mekhi Dallas. And now the Drillers find themselves down only 8. So with a little defense, you might see an exciting 4th quarter.
Well, they chipped away and got it down to a 1-score game, and that's what you want.
One thing we saw out of Frontier, Coach, they had pedal to the metal pretty much every opportunity that they got the football. And like you said, your nephew over there, Ferguson, he comes with so much offensive experience. You know, and also you got your son Rich over there. You know, it's a lot of experience over there from the offensive perspective, and you can see that crispiness from their offense. They've been doing a great job in the Titans.
Yeah, very intricate offense, and you got to have guys that can catch the ball for 1 and know where they're lining up for 2.
Yeah, right now, I mean, we have our premium lighting player of the game that we got to give out later on. Statler looking like the hands-down favorite.
You got Appleton.
Appleton as well. I can't dismiss Appleton. He's playing very well.
I tell you, if he's the one that ran back the kickoff, and we didn't get that, it was either 2 or 12 or 22.
I'm going to say that was Appleton running back that opening kick. And they got blocking again.
And that's Appleton again.
And just like you said, Coach, Appleton's he's one man away from going the distance every time.
Yeah, he's averaged about 25 yards a kick return.
Right, so Appleton, you might just have action at this player of the game that we got, but there's some drillers that's saying, hey, we still got time, Kenny Calvin.
That's right.
9:49 to play in the 3rd quarter. Ken Calvin, Kevin Willie, and Rich Van Horn for the Kern High Network, brought to you by Valley Strong Credit Union. Kern High Network. Shotgun spread set with a pro formation. They go with the swing route. Nice pursuit by the drillers. Amazing tackle And it looks like we're starting to see some intensity on the defensive side of the football. And that was Tybo Rogers with the great pursuit and tackle. Gets so much credit on the offensive end, you don't hear about him playing great defensively. 2nd and 10.
Tight trip set to the left here.
Statler back to pass. And that out is caught.
That's the young freshman, Kobe Watson.
Watson's having an amazing game for himself right now.
Yeah.
Had the nice fade he caught down there.
I think we're going to hear some things from this kid in the next 4 years.
We got a quick scoring update. Golden Valley, 28. East High, 0.
Big third down play for Frontier right here.
Yeah, huge third down play. 3rd and 2. They go under center and go into an ace double set. The Drillers getting some penetration and huge stop for the Drillers defense. And that's how you get yourself back in the football game, ladies and gentlemen. And we talked about who's going to have the mentality on the defense, coach, to make some plays to get them back in the game.
That's right. That was a big third down play for the Drillers there. Going to get the ball back with good field position.
You know, we praised the Frontier defensive line early in the game. It looks like some of the Driller defensive line may have overheard us because they played a bit inspired on that drive right there.
Yeah. They were sending the house that time. The Drillers were. Going to be interesting now. You got 22 back there.
And this is what everybody's come to see. Tybo Rogers in open field. We'll see if the kick or punt will be deep enough for him to have action. Oh, and it's shanked. Shawshank Redemption. That's going to be about a 6-yard punt. And if you're the Drillers, that's exactly what you needed. And one thing Tybo can do to a punter is get in his head. And you can see right away that's exactly what happened. You don't want to punt it to that dude.
No. Just the fact that he's on the field this week, I mean, things happen.
Right, and I guarantee you this, Coach. What probably didn't help him was the special teams coach telling him, make sure you don't kick it to 22.
Well, I tell you what, he didn't.
I got you, Coach.
Yeah.
1st and 10, Drillers. Montero with Abbott in the backfield, shotgun double set against a 40 even front in an extremely deep, 3-deep look for the Titans. And Montero goes with the quicks. Oh, and it's almost picked off the bounce as he's trying to go to Rogers the third.
You know, we said it early in the game. We'll say it again. We'll probably say it later. Is other players have to step up and make plays when Rogers is taken away, getting a lot of attention out of here. 2.5 guys with the free safety over there.
Right, and Rogers the third had a good week last week too, so he should have been ready for that.
He had 6 catches last week against Buchanan.
Now it looks like the Drillers are going in a quad stack. Okay, I was very confused, and so are they. So they're going to take a quick timeout. We'll take a break too, and be right back with more Kern High Network football after this. All right, we're back. Trips open set.
Montero takes the snap.
Montero keeps it. Nice lane. Montero still on his feet. Outside. Great blocking on the outside. And there's that toughness that we talked about. Montero across the 15. And boy, do we have a football game on our hands. Because the Drillers are marching, trailing 8 with 7:43 left to play, heading south.
That's right, and that's what we got to see out of Montero. If the Drillers want him to get this offense going, he's got to do it with his legs.
You called it, Coach. Now they go right back to the opposite side to Rogers III, and he makes up for it. Oh, and that should be an extremely late hit, and it's going to be first and goal after that personal foul, and now it seems like Frontier's losing it a little bit.
Looked like 22 for Frontier. James Moon. I think that's his second one, wasn't it? Did he have a late hit on that last drive?
You took the words right out of my choppers, Coach, because that's the second dead ball personal foul by him alone in the second half, and you just put the Driller football team inside the 5-yard line. Montero, Abbott in the backfield. Rogers split right.
Look for Montero. A little RPO here.
Montero keeps it. Nice job keeping containment.
Frontier saying it was a fumble. Referee says he was down.
That would be a huge setback. But nonetheless, Montero, like you said, Coach, he's usually not going to go down with the first guy.
No. This is the time you go ahead and put Tybo back in the backfield. Give him the ball. Give him plays where he's got a lot of options to run inside, outside. Because not many guys, he only needs 2 yards.
Right. 2 yards in the window. And that's why they put you in the booth and why you made me great, because you always knew what was coming before it happens. Tybo in the eye, and they go right to him, ISO, and that's just a fantastic job by Frontier clogging up the defensive line. And you called the personnel, but they didn't run what you thought they should have ran. They went inside. You probably want to give him an opportunity to go outside.
You're on the – got a lot of green out here. Beat him to that pylon.
Right, now, and I'm going to go ahead and call it, Coach. I think this is 2-down territory inside, because no telling when you're going to get back inside the 5-yard line. And now we have a quick timeout, so we'll stay here. It gives us time to thank our sponsors at Valley Strong Credit Union and also our staff at the Kern High School District Superintendency. Our boss, Stan the Man Green, will be inducted into the Bakersfield College Hall of Fame October 20th. It's going to be an amazing night. Also get my co-captain, Jeremy Stott. He'll be inducted as well. Coach Sandy Taylor, she'll be inducted. Coach Dwayne Dameron, the legend. How can I say his name so late in the list? My head's still ringing from all the whistle cracks he used to give us across the helmet as Renegades. Octavio Martinez. And last but not least, my man Brandon Big B. Kurtz, former BC Renegade basketball player. They'll all be going in to the hall.
And speaking of basketball players, that we've got to touch on this because I know this touches you. I got 3 people as I was walking up before the game mentioned it to me. We talked about it. Manuel Calvin, one of the great Driller basketball players, passed away 2 weeks ago.
Rest in peace, Unc. We love you. Rogers in motion. Montero keeps it. He slips, falls forward, and that's going to be right at the goal line. So 4th and inside the 1. Got to expect the Drillers to go for that. But, Coach, I definitely want to thank you for highlighting my uncle. You know, growing up, my uncle was so synonymous with Driller legacy that people thought I was his son, not his nephew. You know, and for my whole life, I always explained, oh, that's my nephew. I mean, that's my uncle. I'm his nephew. You know, but I always looked up to him, always followed in his footsteps, and will continue to shine on in his memory. But nonetheless, Drillers, fourth and
down.
goal. Frontier packed inside. Oh, and that's blown up, and that's goal line stands by Frontier making a statement. Oh, and we got a late flag. Let's see what the flag is. It's more than likely a dead ball foul anyway.
It might be after the play. Some kind of celebration against Frontier.
In which, when you're on this end of the field, a penalty like that is definitely not something you want because it keeps you pinned down and marches you back a little bit. So let's see what the White Hat has to say. He's been busy tonight.
Well, we talked about, putting Tybo in the backfield down here. And the general rule is when you're inside the 5, you give it to your money man.
Right.
Emmett Smith, Walter Payton, Eric Dickerson.
Yeah, nonetheless, tough defense by Frontier. They get the dead ball personal foul after the play, which backs them right back up. But if you're the Drillers, have to be biting the lip after not getting that opportunity inside.
That should bring it back to half. Did they mark the penalty already?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
It took him back to about the 3-yard line
half
from
the
six.
distance.
And don't be surprised if you see Frontier try to take the top off this defense, because look how tight these DBs are playing. Pro-style offense, usually when you're backed up this deep, you usually take that shot.
Yep. Well, if you're the Drillers, you've got to man them up and you've got to put some heat.
Trips open set, or black, empty set for Frontier. Oh, and they try to go with the quick out. Great defense by the Drillers. Amazing job by the defensive end when you can't get there, you just got to stop and get your hands up to affect the throw and get in the passing lane of the throw. Nonetheless, 2nd and 10. And here's where it's interesting, because for the Titans, you also want to figure out a way to get your punter some breathing room and not punt out of that end zone.
Well, they're going 5 wide again, so.
Yeah, and they may have saw something that last play. They have some options. And Stadler's been putting it on the money. Has a man, and it's incomplete, and Stadler's getting up slow. Oh, late flag. It looked clean to me, but I took my eye off the secondary to focus on what's happening in the backfield. And that's a devastating penalty, as he was double covered, and it looked like they arrived right on time. So I'm confused again.
Well, the only thing I can say is, as the DB closed it, he wasn't looking for the ball. He went right through the man without looking for the ball.
There was somebody underneath who I couldn't see, so that's definitely an unfortunate situation, because you definitely have to play the ball as a defensive back when you're closing in and you're about to make contact. Heartbreaking penalty for the Drillers, as it gives Frontier some breathing room.
Number 10 for the Drillers put great pressure. Anthony Rivera.
Shout out to his dad, Ulysses Rivera.
Put pressure on Statler.
Now they're in the I formation with 5:01 to play. Definitely not something you see often. And Marquez does a great job taking that blast play up for about 3 yards. He got about 5 on that carry.
It's a big drive for Frontier here. The momentum has started to shift to the Drillers. They need a good drive here to get that momentum back to the middle.
Yeah, and the Driller defense played a bit of inspired football the last couple of drives. You'll see if you try to take some more chances as that pressure looks like it's coming again, Coach. Great job in penetration.
Mackey from the backside.
Mackey's been playing a great game for the Drillers as well. So 3rd down and 6, another crucial 3rd down for Frontier. Hoping to take advantage of that penalty, Coach.
If the Drillers were to get out of here with a win, that would give them 799. They have Stockdale next week. Stockdale has about an 8-game losing streak going into tonight. So if they get 799 tonight, good chance you're getting 800 next week.
Yeah, but Frontier's saying they have something to do with that.
That's true.
With 3:27 to play in this 3rd quarter, and they're staying aggressive as they go black again, empty set. And the Drillers are still coming with pressure. Oh, and that's going to be a sack. Amazing job, and guess who? Abbott is putting in work as well, and that pressure has continued to be a problem for Frontier. There's only a couple of things you can do against an empty set. First thing is bring more people than they can block. If you don't have guys like me and Craig Miller playing corner on the outside.
And if you're a quarterback, you better get rid of it because you got minimum protection. One thing we can say is the twos tonight are playing some ball.
Absolutely, on both sides of the ball. And now we got an opportunity for the lightning fast Rogers to get his first chance, and now he's across the 30. One man to beat, makes a miss. Oh! And had his own man getting his way from behind, or that would have been to the house, but Tybo gets it to the 16-yard line, and the Drillers are knocking on the door once again.
Well, that wasn't Tybo, but
was it Harvey? Or Harvey Rogers the third? I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to my man Harvey Rogers Jr. That's my guy. We used to be basketball nemesis when he was at South High. We used to give him the blues. But that's my dude. Chopped it up with him pre-game.
This has been a game of twos, I tell you. 20-12, 22. Right. Appleton number 2, Abbott number 2, Harvey Rogers number 12.
RPO read zone play. Abbott takes it inside. Abbott having a very impressive game today after a subpar outing last week.
And he's not a big guy.
Oh, and now it should be illegal substitution. You got guys running on and off. Montero keeps it. Oh, and he fumbles the football, and that's going to be Titans with the recovery. Montero with his second fumble of the game. Horrible timing. And that's a situation where you got Frontier scrambling. They're not even lined up. Montero with the RPO zone keeps it, trying to make extra plays in traffic, and you got to cover that ball up. Second fumble of the football game. Wow.
2:18 left in the third quarter. You know, that I think the NFL rule is you have got to totally get off the field. Even
right.
If you're a yard inside the playing field, it's a penalty. Frontier was still on the field, running off their 12th guy.
Definitely should have been a penalty.
At the very least, it's offsides.
Right. The officials have been somewhat inconsistent. We've talked about the shortage. They're doing the best they can, but there has been a few questionable moments that as broadcast journalists, we just got to call it how we see it.
Am I not right, though?
No, you're absolutely right.
It's
it has
offsides.
It has to be at least an offside penalty
Yeah.
or a 12-man on the field if he's still within the lane of play. Nonetheless, it's a mute point now, and 2nd and 10 for Frontier, looking to capitalize on another Montero turnover. They come out and shotgun double set against a man look for the Drillers. That pressure's coming again. Now you got to make tackles if you're a DB out there, and they don't do it, and that's going to be a first down for the Titans after they run the quick hitch.
First down. Cochran on the reception.
And you've got to, if you're the Drillers, you've got to create some of your own luck. You need to get some strips in there. You got to tackle the ball.
Absolutely. It's absolutely what the Frontier Titans did that last outing.
Got a quad
And
look.
now, and you got to make tackles.
Complete to number 14. Tapia.
Now you got Montero trying to get a strip back, but a little too late after Tapia
First down.
gets the quick screen and scampers out to the 37-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Titans, and it looks like they're getting their rhythm back. So Chris Bandy and the band putting in work in all aspects, calling a fantastic contest, trips open set, or now it's black quads.
We might have a double pass here.
Statler to Tapia.
And they definitely may be setting up that double pass, Coach, to come later.
Taken down by Rogers.
1:35 remaining to play. Titans holding on to an 8-point lead after some tough interior defense.
Tapia's made 2 good catches, kind of trying to make up for that line drive punt he tried to put in Coach Sheehy's ear. That went about 6 yards.
Now they're doing a little milk it, getting organized, huddling up. They did a lot of up-tempo and no-huddle stuff earlier, but they realized they let the Drillers back into the football game, and now they're playing a little stall ball. It's a little too early for that. Oh, great play in the backfield. And now we got another flag thrown on the outside. We'll see what that is.
I don't know, but that looked like Rivera. Rivera came from the backside, the defensive left, and made that play.
Yeah, Rivera's a stud. I watched him work out all summer. You know, his dad, Ulysses, does a great job. He's one of the best football dads in town as well. Just motivating his kids to give their all, and you see it on plays
Well,
like that.
I tell you what, I'm impressed with his motor. He's coming off that edge.
2nd and 7, Coach. 52 seconds to play. Now they're going to march. Okay,
Uh-oh.
they're going to march that backwards.
It's got to probably be a hold out there on a receiver on a fly sweep.
Personal foul.
Oh, fooled
Personal
me.
foul against the Drillers. You would like an explanation on that because you didn't see a face mask.
And I saw the Frontier offense walking backwards, and they kind of duped us, didn't they?
Yeah.
Ball was placed on the 45.
And that's another unfortunate personal foul penalty. You can't keep giving 15-yarders to a team you're trailing.
52 seconds left in the third quarter. Frontier 20, Drillers 12.
Black empty set, and they're going up top. Caught outside on the out, and they breaking tackles. Nice individual effort, and that's going to be out at the 35-yard line.
Stop before he picks up enough yardage for a Titans first down.
And that offense of the Titans just looking very balanced.
Wheeler and
Just basically an all hitch.
first down. Titans.
Yeah, you know, you clear that outside guy out, and then you just hitch that inside slot receiver
Yeah,
inside or out.
Tybo missed the initial tackle, tried to come up with a big hit.
Drillers coming with more pressure.
Statler launches it out.
Oh,
Wow, I
oh,
don't
and
know.
now you got another pass interference penalty, when you got dual penalties, looks like good coverage at the top of the route, a little hand fighting. But we'll see what the officials have. 34 seconds to play. Very interesting third quarter. Drillers had some huge opportunities inside the 5-yard line. Came up empty. Now you got an illegal procedure.
Procedure on the Titans and pass interference. On the Drillers, they offset. Replay the down.
So the penalties will offset. They'll replay the down. Remains first and 10.
First and 10, 34 seconds left.
Shotgun double set for the Titans against a 30 set for the Drillers. And the Drillers come inside with some pressure. Great blocking inside.
Has a man in the flat.
Looked like it bounced.
Stadler doing a great job getting that ball off in the face of pressure, though. There's been opportunity and opportunity.
Talked about how impressed we were with his poise.
Definitely impressed for the first time seeing him. This kid has a bright future. He's staying in that shotgun double set. Drillers have figured out we can't let them sit back there and be comfortable. They're bringing pressure from many different angles, but you got to make tackles when you're bringing pressure as well, behind the pressure.
Stotler to Marquez. Taken out
Pass
of
caught
bounds
in the
by
flat.
Be about second there. 3rd and 6.
And that might be our last
Second and
play.
6.
Yeah, second and 6, or
And
3rd and
that's-
6.
That's going to be the last play of the third quarter.
So that'll do it for the third quarter, ladies and gentlemen. Frontier Titans up 20. Drillers with 12. We'll take a quick break and come back with fourth quarter action on Kern High Network.
We all come from different backgrounds and practice different traditions, but we belong to one humanity. At Valley Strong Credit Union, we care deeply about the communities where we live and
Highland in their scrimmage.
Amazing pass and catch. It was put right where it needed to be.
Well, you can see their effort on that extra point.
Right. The body language.
There wasn't any. Yeah.
Right. Horrible body language. And that's one of the
Yeah.
things, Coach, me and you hate.
That's right.
Because it's so early, and your spirit is so broken when you have so much time left to continue to play. Those are the guys we pull right off the field when we see that. But nonetheless, Titans, Statler putting in work. I wish we had some stats for you, ladies and gentlemen, but ultimately, we got a situation where we're seeing a very poised young quarterback make a name for himself on one of the most historic fields in football. And if you're the Drillers, you've had opportunities to get yourself back in this football game, but those opportunities slip away with lack of execution in key moments. And now you find yourself right back in the hole, trailing 15.
2 scores down, fourth quarter, 11 minutes left. Yeah, you're in a bind.
All right, and so now you see Coach getting everybody up. This is the mentality that you had to have from the beginning of the game because you knew they weren't going to kick it to you. You have to be prepared. And that sky kick may have ended up being the difference of the game if the Titans end up going on to win this thing.
minutes taken after 21. Reyes.
So Reyes gets it out to the 32-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Drillers.
You know, the one thing we haven't seen, and we haven't seen Mackey carry the ball very much, and we know what he can do when he does because we saw him last year as a sophomore. And that's just a matter of time before, you know, the Drillers still trying to feel out, we got this great talent out there, but what are we going to do with him?
Right.
You know, we put him at tailback, put him at receiver. No doubt they got to get him the ball, but they've, like we said, somebody else has got to be able to step up, take a little pressure off of him.
Absolutely.
Now we got single coverage out here on Tybo up top.
Montero.
And he has him. Oh, and it's caught.
Completed pass.
And that's going to be targeting at the end of the catch as well. As Tybo's helmet is knocked off.
To the 38, flag on the play.
And right on key, Coach. You know, I'm always impressed by your ability to have your crystal ball out when we're in the booth. You know, but it's those things that help a team be more successful. You have to figure out a way to get your weapon the ball. And they do a great job of it on that post route.
Yeah, like I said, when you get, it's not going to happen a whole lot this season, but a check with me, just something between Montero and Rogers where they're looking at each other, say, I got a fish on me, I got to go. Get me the ball.
Absolutely. 11:37 to play. And right now,
Oh,
and they waved that flag off. But we've seen that happen before.
yeah.
And then the
And
play
that-
came after.
Well, I didn't understand what it was because the helmet came off when he came down on the ground. So I don't know what this guy was thinking back there.
More than likely a makeup call. Shotgun double set against the quarters look. Montero takes the snap, hands it off inside, and that defensive line of the Titans continuing to put in work.
Ball carrier was Abbott, stopped by Holly.
Abbott's done a good job, but he's lighting the pants.
2nd and 9.
You know, like I said, Mackey's got a little beef in those drawers and can pack it inside those tackles.
Trips open set for Montero.
Montero.
Looking left, has a man inside. It's caught
Number 3.
inside to the 2-yard line, and that's an amazing catch
Close to the
by Ron Hughes.
And that's what we're talking about, other guys stepping up.
Shout out to Ron Hughes. I coached his dad as a Renegade.
Single coverage. They had a man and a half on Rogers that time. Free safety was really cheating
Oh,
over.
and now we got a fumble snap, and Montero luckily gets it back up. Avoids disaster again.
2nd and goal.
Have to get on the same page with your center. There's been a couple of times where there's been miscommunication, and you can't have that after big plays.
No.
2nd and goal.
And this is 4-down zone. They can't trade touchdowns for field goals here. They need a touchdown, so they'll be going for it.
Right, now you got Montero throwing the fade, and that's caught for the touchdown. Drillers find their way back into the end zone, and they're not giving up yet. Trying to see who was the recipient on that catch.
Tybo Rogers.
Tybo finally gets to the zone, and now the Drillers are going to go for 2 because they have to figure out a way to make up some of those points.
Well, we talked about it. Once you get single coverage on 22, you've got to take advantage.
Well, I definitely got to give the Frontier DB some credit because he turned around and played the ball at the right time. I thought it was going to be an interception, but great pass by Montero, touchdown Drillers. Now they go back to the I formation, and Montero fakes it, throws it inside, and that is no good. And so the Drillers,
Titans 27.
that's a huge missed conversion opportunity because now you trail 9 instead of you could have been still within 1 score.
Still a 2-possession game here.
So it's questionable to go for a 2-point conversion right there when you got a good kicker in Dallas who's been kicking very well.
Yeah, you don't want to do it until you need it.
Right, because now you need the ball 2 more times.
Yeah.
And Frontier has been dominating the football when they have it. Nonetheless, Drillers find their way back to the end zone. 9-point game with 10-10 left to play. I've seen stranger things happen. So we'll see if the Driller defense can step up. They've done a great job bringing pressure. But last drive, Statler did a fantastic job figuring out where to go when the pressure comes and beating them over the top. Want to thank
Well, the thing we've seen is Frontier hasn't backed down, and even the pressure's on, momentum's changing. It's not like they covered up like a turtle and got in their shell. They've been still coming out, throwing the ball, running their offense.
And this guy is being special, so you better get a hand on him.
This was number 8 here. Oh, that's number 2.
Yeah, so it's been Appleton the whole day back there. And the Drillers defense will come out and try to stop a red-hot Frontier offense. Tyler Ferguson calling an amazing game for this offense, but Statler has been making plays in the backfield with his arm.
Well, the clock is Frontier's best friend right now.
Shotgun double set. Drillers in the man coverage and pressure's coming. You got to make tackles outside. And they do for a 7-yard gain. And that's what's going to happen if you're playing too soft out there from the secondary perspective, Coach. You got to start tightening up.
You do. You do, especially on the, even though he's 6'3", he's still a freshman.
Right, can't let the height intimidate you. I used to love covering the tall guys. It was the small, scatty guys that I had problems with. Or let me take that back. I didn't have problems.
Again.
Trips open set for Statler.
2nd and 2.
Oh, nice catch. And that's going to be maybe half a yard shy. Great tackle by that Driller defender as that was right at the sticks, and that was Montero with the nice hit. And this is a huge 3rd down opportunity for the Drillers because I don't know if this is a 4th down opportunity for the Titans.
Great call by Frontier. They just backer shot for the Drillers, and they just replaced him with a receiver. It was a simple 7-yard pass.
Oh, and they go quarterback sneak, and that's going to be a nice 1st down, a great decision.
Picks up enough yardage for our Titans' 1st down.
So the Titans looking to do exactly what we thought they would do, Coach. Try to methodically get down the field without making too many mistakes, but eating up some of that clock.
That's right.
Special thanks to Valley Strong Credit Union, Kern High Network, and the Kern High School District Superintendency. Stan Green, Deanna Ribbons, and all of our office personnel. We appreciate you guys. 8:16 to play in this 4th quarter. Great game. Drillers trailing 9. No safety in the middle of the field. And now you got one-on-one. Oh, and it's caught. Amazing catch by number 16 on the fade. Amazing catch by the Titans.
Yeah.
And that catch.
4 is coming to the sideline.
Ryan Iniguez with the catch. I don't have Ryan's height, but it looks like he's about 6'3" himself.
Just got another score from the coast. St. Joe's 38, Bakersfield Christian 7.
Wow.
As we
St.
talked
Joe.
about other guys stepping up and making plays, and that's what happened. We hadn't seen 16 all day, and then he steps up and makes that big play.
That was a huge catch on the fade, putting him in a position to put this game away as they're already up 9.
Stidler back to pass, has a man open. Watkins.
And one of the things you taught us, too, Coach, that I'm seeing in the secondary for the Drillers, they're playing catch on defense. And what we mean by that, they're not attacking the ball in the air. They're waiting on the receiver to get where he is and try to tackle him. You got to go after the ball where the ball is going and disregard where the receiver is going. That's about taking chances and knowing technique and putting yourself in a position to make plays. Right now you got defensive backs playing scared and not taking chances and just letting guys catch the ball in front of them or not catch it.
Yeah, and that's just a lack of confidence in the backfield, defensive backfield for the Drillers. But one thing you're also seeing is they don't throw into 22 zone very much. They've done a good job, Frontier, avoiding 22.
Quick pass. Marquez on the reception.
And right there you had a situation where you got a backer closing to the guy on a quick screen, and that one step of hesitation gives that receiver an opportunity to get 6 more yards. You have to keep running through contact. We were always taught that. Stop sputtering your feet when you know what's happening. Trust your instincts and run through contact. You don't do that and you give up 7 yards. 3rd and 4 for the Titans.
And that tackle was by Montero, and you mentioned this earlier. I think this whole year you're going to see Montero playing quite a bit both ways along with Tybo. They're going to get into a situation where their best players have to be on the field at all times.
Absolutely, and your toughest player. 6:20 to play, 3rd and 4. 27-19 lead for Frontier. Kenny Calvin, Kevin Willie, and Rich Van Horn. Tight. Oh, and it's caught! Interception caught out of the air, and that might have been Ty Montero with the amazing interception. Right as we said, you need your best players on the field. Wow. Coach, you got your crystal ball out. Amazing play by Montero. Leaps up. Or was that number 1? It was Montero, right?
Number 7.
Okay, so it was Montero with the amazing play in the backfield. Catches the interception. And we talked about that. When you can't get to the quarterback as an edge rusher, it's important that you focus on what he's doing and get your hands up. He does that, plays the eyes, plays the hands, interception. Drillers, and they still got a shot if they can get something done quickly.
And that's the key, quickly.
And if you're Montero, you got to be gassed right now. But, hey, wrestlers are the most in-shape people in the world. So I think he can run another mile or 2. And it's caught on the post. Amazing catch. Montero doing a great job getting the ball out, and that's caught on the fade.
Looked like number 80. Again, that's the second time that somebody stepped up and made a play for Bakersfield High.
Isaiah Richard on the catch, son of my man.
Now that looked like Mackey on the carry there, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Shotgun double set. They go swing route to Harvey. Harvey needs to protect the football. Frontier looking to strip it.
Guess who was on that tackle? For Frontier, Appleton. He did it.
That boy is everywhere
and
tonight.
if you notice, what did he do? He kept the receiver in bounds.
Very mature play by Appleton. He's doing it on both sides of the football. Drillers with the football, 5:22 to play. You need a score, and you need to score quick if you're rooting for the dark blue. Frontier's defense has been playing lights out. Shotgun spread set for Montero. Frontier brings pressure. They're going to double covers for Tybo. No flags. You're right in the front of it. You got an official right in the front of it that doesn't throw it. And he gets back up from the line just 30 yards away to throw the penalty that definitely should have been thrown for the pass interference. Wow. But let's wait and see because we got to make sure whether they're going to keep it or not. Nonetheless, you have an official right in front of the call, doesn't call the pass interference when you got two guys tackling the receiver. And the line judgment with some integrity throws the pass interference flag from the 20-yard line all the way to the goal line. So the Drillers still have life.
You know, he threw that about 25 yards.
He did. He did.
4:57 left in the fourth quarter. Frontier 27, the Drillers 18.
And we got a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. Montero putting the ball where it needs to go, taking shots like we talked about. Trips open set, Coach. Clock is stopped. Officials getting organized. Ball is being spotted, and now they're walking off extra yards. Get it organized, and that's what they're doing.
Now you've got double coverage on Tybo. Rogers down here in the bottom of the screen.
1st and 10 on the 13.
Look for Mackey here. They've got 4-on-3 on the outside.
And now he calls the right one because I was about to say, Coach, that should be another one. Defender gets there a little bit early on his back. And now you have two consecutive pass interference penalties. And with 4:50 to play, the Drillers will have an opportunity inside the 10 to try to cut this to a one-score game. And like we said, they're trailing 9. So no matter what they do, they have to get the ball back again, and that clock is ticking.
Should put him on the 6. 4:50 left in the fourth quarter.
Trips open set. Montero and Mackey in the backfield. Oh. And then we get a stoppage of play after a fumble. And we got a flag up top. What do we have?
Flag on the play.
Dead ball encroachment.
Offsides on the Titans.
And that's going to be another penalty. And that's a penalty with the clock stop, giving the Drillers another opportunity inside the 10 or inside the 5, and it'll be 1st and goal from the 3. Rogers up top. Shotgun double set. They motion. Oh, and they tripped. That should have been a pass, but they kept it live. The officials missed that because when you throw that pitch forward, it should be dead ball, incomplete pass.
That's correct.
And they basically are marking that as a running play, and that's a mistake by the officials.
Yeah,
Because it should be an incomplete pass, even if it's a nice short shovel pitch.
that's got to. The only thing he can say that they saw is that he handed it to him. Is that what they're saying?
That's what he might try to say, but that's not what happened. Montero inside. Oh, and great defense as it's intended for Hughes. And that's going to be 3rd and 8. After the nice stop.
Well, you saw earlier in the last drive when the Drillers scored that touchdown, they got single coverage on Tybo and they throw the fade up to him. He scores. I don't think Frontier will give you that same coverage again. So that fade will have to go through two guys.
Right, and this is still 2-down territory, of course, with 3:57 to play.
Yeah, so they've got 2 on him. That fade is off at the middle of the field.
Oh, and it's picked off. That's exactly what you didn't want to do, and now Frontier still on his feet. Oh, and the ball is fumbled. Ball came out, and that's going to be Drillers football after the interception and fumble. Wow. So there's the case where trying to do a little bit too much comes back and haunts you, and he's hurt after that. So it looks like that was number 22 for Frontier trying to make a play.
Is that Marquez? 20. No, excuse me, James Moon.
So Moon trying to go to the house. You can't blame him. He had one guy to beat. But ultimately, Drillers doing a great job not giving up on themselves and create another opportunity when they probably were about to go home. That's a situation where, as a defender, you just go ahead and take a knee because you got the game won. You're up 9 points. You got 3:41 to play. And it backfires. And the injury. So we'll take a quick timeout and come back with the last 3:41.
Drillers first and
We're
10.
back, ladies and gentlemen. 3:41 to play. Ty Montero, first and 10. And they go to Rogers, and it's caught right at the 5-yard line, and that's why he gets the attention he deserves.
That's why you go to the Pac-10.
That was an amazing catch by Rogers.
21 yards reception.
And now you got another Frontier Titan down on the sideline, and you got to wonder if it's gas, are you hurt or are you injured? That's what you guys used to ask us.
Might just be his ego there.
Absolutely, because that was an amazing grab.
Yeah, and that's, again, what do? You single coverage, that's what's going to happen. You take away everybody else, but then.
And, Coach, we give Montero a lot of credit for toughness, leadership, but he's made some key throws as well today.
Yeah, he wants that one back. He threw to Moon because that was an ill-advised throw. But
Looks like they're calling the ambulance over.
Oh, and that's tough because now this 3:35 may take us about 45 minutes if we get in the ambulance onto the field.
that's right.
Because we will have to wait until another ambulance arrives before we can start the contest. And so
Well, the one thing, if you're the Drillers, you're going to find out who comes in for this guy, and then you're going to probably go after him. If you're Frontier, whoever's coming in, I've got him on the sideline warming up, getting his legs ready because he's probably been standing around for a whole half.
absolutely. So we'll So we're back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're sorry for the delay, but ultimately in CIF competition rules, if we have an injury that prompts an ambulance to enter the field of play, we have to wait until we have another ambulance on site to continue the contest. So with that being said, we've had about a 30-minute delay after the Drillers, Tybo Rogers, made an amazing catch at about the 6-yard line. The defender for the Titans had a severe injury and needed to be taken off by ambulance, but right now we see the second ambulance making its way behind the field of play. So we should be getting things back going with 3:35 to play, and the Drillers trailing 27-18, but having the ball at their own. I want to say the ball may be placed right around the 5 or 7-yard line. And so that is our update, injury update. We didn't get the player's jersey number, who was the injured Titan, but nonetheless had to be very severe for him to be taken off by ambulance. And it happened right away, right, Coach? Like soon as the play ended, within seconds, one of the people on the sideline alerted the ambulance to come right over.
So as we talked about during the ambulance break there, Coach Haslip had his DBs over there going back to basics and with little back pedal drills and some one-on-one stuff. So
yeah, you definitely got to coach up those backups because you just lost a great player. Matter of fact, we did get a number on that player. I want to say it was E.J. Flores.
all right, here
For
we
the
go.
Titans.
3:35 left.
Now they go right back up top, and that's almost picked off. And guess who it is? Appleton's been balling today.
Man, oh man.
Appleton has played
That's
lights out.
Yeah, that's tough. When you're being double coverage and you're throwing to the short side, you don't have a lot of room to do much.
Yeah, so E.J. Flores was the injured Titan. But nonetheless, now, if you're the Drillers, it's 2nd and 5, and you're trying to get that mojo back. They had a few amazing plays before that injury, and now you got to start that momentum all the way back over. So Montero in the backfield with Abbott. And they go to Rogers again, and Rogers mossed him for the touchdown, and he has his second touchdown. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it gets interesting because with that 6 points, they only trailed 3, so they'll bring Dallas out to try to get that field goal. And with 3:26 to play, not sure how many timeouts. It looks like 0.
Well, it says 0, but that it's been saying that the whole game, and we know Frontier has used 1 timeout. So that time they go back to single coverage, Rogers, and he makes the play.
And that was a tough pass and catch as well because that was well defended.
That was all Rogers there.
Oh, and the kick is blocked. Kick is blocked. But like we said, it's still 3-point game.
That looks like 31 that got that one, although Appleton was pretty darn close.
Right, and forgive me, because during the break I was eating Sun Chips. And if you know anything about Sun Chips, you better have some water close, because they are dry. But nonetheless, the Drillers get the score, and now it looks at least respectable, but you still have 3:26 to play, and you can expect the Drillers to probably come out with an onside kick to try to get this ball back.
Yeah, they're going to have to. That was Bryson Tablet and got that PAT. Keeps it a 3-point game.
Tablet has made a few plays tonight, too. And that's a great play because that block kick keeps you from losing the game by a field goal as opposed to possibly going to overtime if they get this onside kick or stop on defense. So, like we said, we expected a good game, and we got one, Coach.
We got it.
But,
And
Coach,
it's only 11:47, and some of the we've only got the faithful left out here.
Well, we beat the midnight.
Well,
We beat the midnight. Well, we thought we may not get started until midnight.
Oh,
wait for
well,
that ambulance.
oh, right.
well, it started, yeah, but all right, here we go. Onside. Oh, it's
And that was a nice kick.
actually a smart play by Frontier. They saw that ball had some velocity. That ball was kicked pretty hard, so just let it go and go right out of bounds.
That was a nice onside attempt because if that hits any defender, that's ricocheting with great heads-up play.
Uh-oh.
We got a late flag. We'll see what that is.
It's going to be on the BHS sideline, either a sideline warning.
Well, remember, we were confused earlier because we thought they gave him a warning. But that was that aiding the runner.
Yeah. Well, maybe not. Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, 1st and 10, Frontier. They go into the eye heavy. They're going to need to get a first down.
They need at least one first down to ice this game.
Handoff to Marquez.
Oh, and the drillers stop them right away.
Stopped at the line of scrimmage.
And so no timeout by the drillers. They're going to go ahead and play this thing out. Now it looks like we have a little extracurricular stuff going on in the stadium. Oh, and they got security wrapping them up, but we'll focus on what's happening on the field with 2:42 remaining to play.
2nd and 10. 4-minute
and now
offense.
we got a penalty, and that's going to
It's
be
gonna be-
delayed game. Or it might be 12 on the field for the drillers. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, that's 11 for the drillers. $12 for Frontier. So Frontier lines up with 12 in the huddle. Oh, and they waved off the flag. In the crowd, you hear boos because so we thought we had 12 or delay a game, and they reset the clock. And the drillers get the stop again. So with 2:28 to play, it's 3rd and 10, and we get the timeout. So it looks like
Well, the scoreboard's not saying how many times, but that's the first one I think this second half that the drillers have used. They definitely have one left, maybe two.
and it looks like our guys for the Kern High security doing a great job keeping things in order. Shout out to one of my former players, Nick Austin. I saw him using some of that technique, that speed technique I taught him years ago to get over there to these kids acting out. You know, and these guys stay busy, man. It's, you know, a lot of people talk the talk, but these security guards do a fantastic job of keeping us safe on campus. I even got my SB 1626 in case I need to come help out.
There you go.
So I can help out if necessary around here.
Now the clock is stopped. Okay. So we've got a 3rd and 10 now. If you're the drillers, your one safety has to look out for some kind of play action if. There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Oh, and he's wide open. Oh, huge hit, and that's going to be short, too. So great job by the Drillers pursuing to get there, and it's going to be 4th and short. But if you're Frontier, you're going to want to go ahead and go for this, because if you get it, you can put the game away. And it's about 4th and 1, so great pursuit by the Drillers. But, Coach, I think if he would have stopped and planted his feet, it could have been night-night.
Well, that's the only thing your job is safety, and especially in a situation like that. Watch for them sneaking out a guy.
Yeah, now we got a situation where for a Driller defense, you want to come out and put a hat on a hat, fill in the gaps. For Frontier, you want to put a hat on a hat and move the pile.
2:17 and the clock's moving now.
Also,
down and 1.
Also, you don't want a penalty here if you're Frontier, Coach.
No, you may go long count here. Don't. Is it a first down here or an offside first down will be the game.
So the next question is, do you take – oh, and they do get the sneak. Oh, and you got a flag. You got a flag. So let's see what the flag is. That's going to be a huge difference maker on what this call is.
But there's a flag on the play.
Huge call, because it will go from a 4th and 1 to a 4th and 9 if this penalty is on the offense, which usually in between the tackles, it usually is. Unless you're in the NFL and you see the defensive tackles pulling tackles.
Unless they wave it off.
Unless they wave it off for the 9th time. Uh-oh.
On the Driller.
Oh, and so with the personal foul, more than likely a face mask, that first down is going to do it, and the Titans will march away with this victory unless something weird happens.
Titans get a little revenge from last year. Remember that last game of the year for the Titans? The Drillers had beat them in the semifinals of the Division II playoffs.
Absolutely. I was here with you, Coach. But nonetheless, the Titans came out, played tough. Drillers just couldn't overcome the multiple mistakes, and that'll be a knee. So with that being said, Coach, we got to start talking about our player of the game.
Well, if you're asking me, my vote goes to number 2 for Frontier, Mr. Appleton.
I'm definitely rocking with you. Appleton definitely did a fantastic job. And the reason we give it to Appleton over the quarterback who had a great game is the fact that Appleton was doing it on offense, defense, and special teams.
That's right. That's right.
3 phases of football.
Yeah.
You know, my coach,
I don't know if he came off the field.
he definitely did not come off the field. And I was going to say, Coach, I played for the great Jimmy Red Parker, rest his soul in heaven. Coach of the Clemson 1981 national champions as well, one of those assistants.
Yeah.
But his mentality and motto before every game, win offense, win defense, win special teams.
That's right.
It's 3 phases of football.
33%, 33 in the third percent.
And that Appleton definitely did that. So our premier lighting player of the game, Mr. Appleton. But it's been an amazing contest, and congratulations to Frontier as they get the victory.
Get their second win of the year. Beat North High last week. Come to Griffith Field and beat the Bakersfield High Drillers. So they're on a roll here.
Absolutely, and they're well deserved.
Yeah, and they're a team that's going to do well around here. And we talked about, you know, top 4 teams, Liberty, BHS, Frontier, Garces, and now BHS is out. Now Frontier moves up, so if they can get by Garces, that'll set up a showdown with Liberty.
Absolutely. Well, for Kern High Network Football, it's been Kenny Calvin, our producer-director Kevin Woolley, Want to thank him for everything he does to get us up and rolling. Want to thank our staff over at the Kern High School District Superintendency, our boss Stan Green, our administrative team, and Deanna Ribbons, our other team across town that handled the Golden Valley game, Vance Palm, Kyle Wiley, Julian Wilson, Javier. We got a great staff, but an amazing opportunity for us to be here at the place that made us great, Coach, for a Driller football game. They showed some promise tonight. They did some things very well, but too many mistakes to overcome. And Frontier takes the victory, 27-20.